8.0.2 has been released in what is the second hotfix in as many weeks. Wargaming has proven to be on the ball with the data that is being pulled from post-rework gameplay and is honoring their word that they would work to balance things out. The hotfix itself is nothing monumental. The first, 8.0.1, corrected issues with the HarKuryu and was designed to make the AA work a little better against squadrons. Carriers, well, that one particular carrier, proved to be a tad strong. Despite the attempt to nerf it, the unintended consequence was a bug, heavy air quotes there, in which there were large damage spikes from AA explosions in Tier 8 and above. Also, continuous damage per second needed adjusting and toning down. I grinded through the Lexington during the first hotfix, and I'll admit, it was tough in many aspects. The AA was indeed strong, as Tier 8s at that point were primarily placed in Tier 10 matches. That didn't help the situation. I've had complete bomber squadrons wiped by a single Yamato while I was playing the Lexington. It's challenging, to say the least. But, despite this, part of me didn't mind. I saw rounds with damage as low as 40,000 and as high as 160,000. Being top-tiered, which rarely happened, put the Lexington in her element, and I did really well. Being bottom-tiered brought a mixed bag of both misery and joy, with some very good rounds and some very bad. The reason that the strong AA didn't bother me was I could mitigate it through intelligent flight paths. I knew which ships to target and which ships not to by the end of the grind and the patch. I knew when and where to drop, and when and where not to. I very much felt players were rewarded for smart play and punished for poor decisions. That's how it should be, right? I think though for newer CV rework players, and by newer I mean those that didn't play in the playtest, the AA might have been just a little too much in the wrong direction. And here we are with 8.0.2. And here I am with a shiny new Midway, which I earned paying the iron price. I played rounds prior to the new hotfix and I played after it. At Tier 10, the effects of both are a lot less pronounced than they were in a Tier 8 ship. I will say that the longevity of the squadrons I haven't health boosted is much better than before. My dive bombers last longer, which is a good thing. Before, they got shredded much easier. Now, I can get a good drop in without taking significant damage, so long as I plan my route correctly and steer clear of AA platforms. I will give a word of caution though. You'll still get punished if you choose your path poorly, and it still appears that AA can be more damaging at distance than up closer to a ship. The new hotfix will not act as a band-aid for poor choices. You still have to play smart. And again, that's how it should be. Overall, I think we're getting close. I still think CVs might have a little too much survivability, but given you can't steer them, I don't mind the extra protections. I will say though, it's weird ending the round in a 2 versus 2 CV versus CV dogfight, as I had happen just recently. It's also odd shooting down the most planes in a round as a CV, but again, that's chalked up to the protection. There's no telling what 8.0.3 will entail. I suspect though that the next hotfix won't come nearly as quickly as the previous two. Again, we're getting close to where we need to be. Destroyers are making their way back into the game in good numbers. Players are starting to play how they used to. I think overall the population is realizing that while CVs alter the game a little, they don't alter the outcomes nearly as much as they used to prior to the rework. They're merely one more ship with different functions that now, through the hot patches, cause damage at a rate similar to any other ship. We are almost there. Zoop out.